And welcome once again to Geek News and Craft Brews, our weekly delve into everything in the comic book and nerd culture world that mattered to us.
Yes.
And as always, we are joined by the only hero more worldwide than the Amazing Spider-Man, and that's alcohol.
Alcohol.
Chris, what are you drinking today?
I'm drinking Chainbreaker White IPA. This is fantastic. This is from Deschutes Brewery out of Oregon, and out of Bend, Oregon. And it's actually, full confession, the only white IPA that I can recall from memory, and it is fantastic. If you're tired of the IPA genre, it's becoming
a
played
lot more
out.
popular.
Yeah, it's pretty played out at this point. You know,
Yeah.
I know that sours and at this point in time, sours and stuff like that, doubles, and they're gaining a lot of popularity. But this white IPA Chainbreaker will probably change your opinion on IPAs. You'll like it.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Bring it down a bit at the end.
Bring it down, yeah.
Hold on. If you don't...
Yeah, I won't say change your opinion. No, you'll... Mine didn't change.
Yeah.
But I like this.
All right.
What are you drinking?
I got Loose Leaf American Seasonal Ale from Odell Brewery right here in Fort Collins. I gotta say, we're at like week 5, I think, and I've yet to leave Fort Collins with mine.
You could...
We
could easily do 52 beers out of Fort Collins.
Oh yeah,
that's
easy.
Simple. Yeah,
Fort Collins is a embarrassment of riches as far as craft brews go.
Yeah, if you're a fan of craft brew and you haven't swung through Fort Collins, you're doing yourself a serious disservice.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
just there's Colorado in general.
But there's one road in Fort Collins that has 3 or 4.
Oh yeah,
there.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're all just lined up, and they got some pretty fun. Some of them have some pretty good food there too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, but I'm a big fan of this beer. And
yeah. Well, cheers. Yeah, let's start another cast here, y'all. Crack one open for yourself. Unless you're driving.
Yes. I keep reading this is a podcast and people can listen to it wherever you go.
Yeah, I like to listen to podcasts when I'm working out and when I'm commuting to work, especially. Mm-hmm. Yes, very fun.
Another shameless plug, if you like any information on any of the beers we're drinking this, we will put up our beer profiles on our Facebook page. That's Geek News and Craft Brews, all spelled out, on Facebook. There is an album there called Beer Profiles, and every Sunday, all the beer we're drinking for this week will go up there, along with our reviews of it, where to get it, everything you possibly need to drink along with us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Steve's put a lot of work into this. It's well worth checking out, y'all.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's jump into it already.
Yeah, what do you want to talk about this week, dude?
First story we had to talk about was Suicide Squad's, one of their main actors, Jai Courtney. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that first name wrong. He has come out and said that comic book films are tired and saturated.
Yeah, like played out or whatever.
Played out while he is cast to play Captain Boomerang in the upcoming Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah, Suicide Squad. I saw a little bit of the clip. We watched the clip of the interview where he talked about that, where he said that. A couple of things struck me. He was hanging out with Shia LaBeouf at the time.
Which is never a good sign.
Well, I mean, I'd hang out with Shia LaBeouf. I think it'd be a pretty interesting time for sure.
Yeah, but he's also a professional crazy person at this point.
Well, he definitely has been well known to criticize the industry, the Hollywood industry. So if that kind of type of conversation comes up, hanging out with that guy, yeah, I get it. It'd be like, geez, I don't know. I've just listened to the Joe Rogan podcast today. So hang out with Joe Rogan and like the MMA or weed or flotation tanks not come up in conversation. I mean, like, I like listening to his podcast, but he talks about those 3 things a lot, right? For good reason, you know. He's an expert on that stuff. Mm-hmm. At any rate, I don't think it's that cool of a move to do to badmouth comic book films when you're going to be in one.
Yeah, even if you're not going to be in one, not cool, but especially that this is the audience you're going for. This is the comic book movie audience is the ones that you're saying this to.
Yeah, yeah. And
yeah, it's Suicide Squad news. Who else is going to look at it but comic book fans? And you're saying, oh, the movies you like are old and played out, tired, saturated, whatever you might have. Exactly.
You know, in the interview we also talked about how, you know, how many Australian comic book characters are there, and granted there aren't many.
There are not many.
There are not many. We could only come up with 3, and
one's really minor.
One's super minor.
Mm-hmm.
But we also did the quick math on it, and like the comic book saturation in the United States, there's apparently a comic book store for about every 120,000 people. Right?
Yeah.
But in Australia, there's a comic book store for about every 400,000 people. So we have roughly 4 times the amount of comic book exposure than the typical Australian does.
Yeah.
And we have over 10 times the population that Australia does. So it's no shit there's not a lot of Australian comic book characters.
It is not the target demographic. Like, it's not a small portion by any means. Any comic book fan is good in our hearts, but...
Yeah, exactly. I'm not knocking Australian comic book fans.
At the same time, from a either writer or a producer of one of these movies or one of the executives, them looking at it saying, okay, we need another superhero, what should his background be? Australia's just not going to be up there on the list because it's not that big of a market there.
That's exactly it. So that's kind of, I don't know if he was trying to make a point with that or whatnot. But immediately, I think right before he made that statement about Australian comic book characters and the number of them, whoever's interviewing him in this deal where he made the statement, asked him, should I call you Boomerang or Captain Boomerang? He said, I don't know, whatever he wants to be called.
Yeah, he goes by whatever he wants to.
Yeah, did you read the fucking script? Clearly you didn't. Because that's, I can guarantee you Captain Boomerang doesn't go by whatever he wants to be called.
Hey Frank, what's up?
Yeah, exactly. And, as far as comic book characters go, villains, he's pretty much a tool.
Yes.
So it's kind of funny, I thought, that this tool statement came from an actor who's playing a tool supervillain.
It's great casting in the end.
Yeah, that was probably a pretty good casting call in the end. Yeah, well done in that respect.
Just the executives come in and was like, what are you doing casting this guy? Like, hey, have you read it? Do you know who he is? I nailed that.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, I don't think it's going to hurt or help Suicide Squad at all.
No.
They'll probably forget about it by the time the movie even comes out, but just kind of made Jai Courtney look like kind of a douche.
Mm. It was just a weird piece of news to see across the feed. It was...
Exactly. He clearly doesn't understand the geek culture with movies.
Yes.
To say that comic book movies are played out is saying like romantic comedies are played out. It's a genre of film, you fucking moron. Horrors are played out. What the fuck? Idiot. Second off, do you know how much money you're gonna make when you're old and gray and no one wants to hire your fat ass anymore who's played out? All the money you'll make at cons, at conventions from the loyal fans.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Maybe if you get your act together and stop bad-mouthing the community that's willing to make you millions and millions of dollars till the end of your days, well, at least tens of thousands till the end of your days. Shit, by the time inflation's there, it might be millions. Who knows? Who cares?
Billions.
At any rate, there isn't a return con market for romantic comedy actresses or actors or any other genre that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, there's a Big Lebowski festival. Yeah. But that's the only thing outside of
cults following movies, but...
Yeah.
I guess, oh god, what is it? I'm not gonna just blow it up, so I'm not gonna even get mad at it.
At any rate, it's a stupid move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stupid move. So, well... Whatever you were thinking, Jai, we think you're just kind of a dumbass play.
Yeah, especially coming from someone that's starring in Divergent, which is a Hunger Games ripoff, which is a ripoff of an older Japanese movie called Battle Royale.
Yeah.
So
was he in Divergent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Battle Royale, by the way, is badass.
Yeah, watch Battle Royale. That's an awesome movie.
That's a really good movie. Yeah.
I think it's still on Netflix, though it might be subtitled.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Still worth your time. 100%.
Honestly, I highly recommend watching any foreign film subtitled. You will miss out on inflection and other things like that. There's a lot of nonverbal communication that happens. And a lot of people complain about it because they can't read fast enough. Which, to me, tells me you need to read more. So, read more books and then watch subtitled foreign films. And your world of entertainment will just explode with possibilities.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, just going off of movies that I've seen within the past month, I saw Battle Royale like 3 days ago because we had talked about it before and I wanted to watch it again. Amelie, French film that I saw for the first time a couple weeks ago, and yeah, it's definitely more. It gripped me more than a lot of those kind of cute comedy type movies ever had. So.
Yeah, and there's so many. Mm-hmm. I mean, and a lot of people don't realize how many American films are based off of foreign films. Mm-hmm. And like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, perfect example. Although they did a really good job in the American version.
Oh yeah, I definitely enjoyed it.
But especially a lot of horror movies. The Ring was a series that's originally based off of a Japanese series of films, which was better, and the Japanese version was better. Duh. And there's so many. There's so many. Yeah. Let the Right One In. There's a cool children vampire film that came out a couple years ago, and it's actually I don't know what the original country of it is, but I did watch the original, and I remember it being pretty darn good too. Better than the American version. That's pretty routine. It's just like people saying how books are better than the movie or better than the TV show, and that's it's pretty typically that's how it is. Like any message, the more filters it goes through, it tends to distort more. So get to the source. Right?
Yeah, excellent plug for reading books and watching more movies and just culture and craft brews and all that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, shall we move on?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything more to talk about Jai.
Yeah, Jai.
Yeah, whatever, Jai.
Well, I'll watch the movie, but...
Oh, for sure. Of course I'm going to watch the movie. Suicide Squad is going to be badass. Harley Quinn's going to be in it. Oh.
Just at the same time, I'll, when I see the first trailer, I'll be like, ooh, Jai. Then I'll be over it, and I'll watch the movie. But...
Well, he'll get his ass kicked, so that's fine. It's his Captain Boomerang. Mm-hmm. He's going to be a second bit character in it, and he's going to get his ass kicked, and he's going to kind of be the joke of the team.
Fantastic.
So you were getting what you deserve, Jai.
Next thing we wanted to talk about is there was a YouTube video released in the past week that featured a lot of comic book and video game and kind of geek culture characters coming together and playing soccer against each other.
What? Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and it was awesome. It was very well done. It was a very effects-driven movie, but it had some of the people from Assassin's Creed jumping over Iron Man and Jedi's in the goal, moving the ball aside.
Okay.
I'll post in the Facebook page, but it's definitely worth a watch, and it's something that's piqued our interest a lot and got me kind of thinking of who would be on your geek culture all-star team for sports.
Wow. Well, it really depends on the sport we're playing.
Yeah.
I've thought about this before with a drinking game, so I might be a leg up on you on this one because they're kind of the same thing.
All right.
Or it involves the same skills. Right?
So we'll go through a couple sports, couple positions in each, and then we'll come across with who we think would be the best player for that position.
This is completely unscripted. I had no idea this was going to happen, so this is going to be fun.
All right. A couple of rules to lay down first. you can only use a superhero for one position.
Okay.
So you can't have Superman in every single position.
Well, yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah.
No alternate versions of people.
Fair.
And yeah, that's kind of all I got.
All right, yeah, that's fine.
So, it's football off-season, a lot of trades happening, so we'll start in football.
Football, sure.
So, let's go with quarterback.
American football.
American
yes.
football.
American football, quarterback. All right, well, here's the thing with with quarterbacks is that I think over any attribute, intelligence is going to be key.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you need someone who can think really fast on their feet. So I'm thinking a comic book character who's really smart but can also handle accuracy and stuff. Oh, Phantom X. Done.
Phantom X.
I was almost going with Mr. Fantastic, but I'm like, nah, he doesn't have the athletic ability. Phantom X mostly from the X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually was going to go with Reed Richards, Mr.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic.
Cool.
And
wow. Yeah, we're thinking along the same lines.
Just because of the intellect, and he would be one of those quarterbacks that you can never tackle.
That's another, you couldn't ever sack him.
Yeah.
Oh, his quarterback sneak would be ruthless.
His quarterback sneak would be ruthless.
Because he could just stretch.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, he doesn't need to be athletic. He could stretch his arm to wherever it needs to go, then just drop the ball there.
Right, yeah.
Or just take it in himself.
Yeah, he'd be good at handing it off for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Reed Richards or Phantom X?
Phantom X.
At quarterback.
At quarterback. That's pretty good.
Let's move on to running back then.
Running back.
I feel like it's going to be one of two
models. You should
go
first.
One of two models. It's either going to be the tank running back that you just cannot tackle, like a Hulk type person.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be a speedster like Flash or Quicksilver.
Like Flash or Quicksilver, yeah.
And I'm trying... Because both would be unstoppable. I'm trying to think which one I want to use for a future sport at this point.
Running back, I'd go with the speedster.
I would go with the speedster.
And I would go, honestly, between all the speedsters, Flash is really the king.
He is. He runs so fast that he breaks continuities in some cases.
Exactly. He can run through time. And I have no reference, or I don't think I've ever read of anyone like Quicksilver ever running through time. And so yeah, I think Flash would probably be the ultimate running back.
I would agree with Flash at running back. I'll go with Quicksilver in that case, since...
No, you got first pick.
I'll take Flash.
I'll take Quicksilver still.
I'm sure both of them will do just fine.
No, I'll take Reverse Flash.
Reverse Flash.
Yeah, that's who I'll take. I'll take Reverse Flash over Quicksilver. That's how powerful Flash is.
Oh, great. All right. How about some linebackers, some big boys to lay down the lumber?
Linebackers, I think, you definitely need people who have invulnerability or some sort of a trick where they could stop movement, like absorb kinetics. Yeah. In some sort. So, I guess, isn't there the absorbing man can absorb material. That's not the exact same thing. Actually, Captain America would be great because his shields with the vibranium... He'd be a really good quarterback, too, honestly.
Would be.
I'm surprised I didn't think about it for QB.
He'd probably actually play football, too.
He probably... if he did, he didn't do a good job. Because he would have still been, weak.
Would have still been little weakling from Brooklyn.
Tiny little weak Steve Rogers. At any rate, but he had the vibranium, right? It's just going to absorb...
lay that down.
Yeah, it's going to absorb all impact. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
All right. I'm going to use this as my Superman position.
That's a pretty good Superman position.
Yeah, because he's fast enough to, chase down a Flash or someone at running back. Yeah. He can take the ball from the quarterback and just score himself if he really wants to. Okay. And no one's pushing him down.
You know who I was going to save Superman for?
Yeah.
For football?
What?
Cornerback.
Cornerback?
Defense, cornerback.
That's good. Long balls in the air, he just fly up and catch
fly on them. He's got enough time to catch a speedster running back coming at you. You're not going to score against Superman cornerback.
Like a cornerback or a safety type person?
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Heck yeah. You can't ignore defense in football. Too many teams do. They
It's
paid
true.
for it.
I was gonna put like a Magneto at safety.
Oh, that's a really good safety.
Yeah.
Also. Yeah, that's a
Just
really
anyone
good safety.
wearing football pads. Just no.
Oh yeah, yeah. And if you do Magneto in his prime, and we've addressed this in an earlier podcast, but he could stop you because of the iron content in your blood. In fact, he could take all the iron content in your blood and mold it into a blood clot in your brain if he wanted to. That's Magneto in his prime, and that's why the movies just never got him right. Bonk. Yeah, it'd be great. You're all dead.
Yes.
Fuck it.
They're just like, I'm tired of this.
This is ridiculous.
Game ends.
Yeah. Whew, that'd be pretty good.
All right. Let's do wide receiver in football as the last football one.
Okay, wide receiver. Someone who's got hands. Someone who can.
They want someone fast, but they still need to catch a ball coming from the quarterback at relatively normal speed. So
Pretty versatile. You know what? I'm gonna have to go with Green Lantern. I was thinking Batman, but I'm gonna go with Green Lantern.
Lantern's a good one.
Yeah.
This would also be another good position for Mr. Fantastic with those stretching
Yeah, it
arms.
would be a pretty decent one for.
If I wanted to cop out, I could just do Plastic Man, which is the DC
What now?
DC copy of it.
Yeah.
But
You could even, well, I mean, if we want to go to Image Comics, you could do Invincible and you essentially have another Superman.
oh yeah. Let's see. Wide receiver, you want someone with some speed, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of just would get every single ball that would come in the area, and
Oh, man.
you come up with another one or
I just thought Doctor Strange would be kind of a fun one
Doctor.
to have. That's all. Yeah, but someone's super awareness. Spider-Man, duh.
Spider-Man, the spider
Spider-Man,
senses in the webs. Yep, that easy.
Duh.
That is the
Glad
correct
I
choice.
give you the best. Yeah.
That is the correct choice for wide receiver.
Glad I got Superman on defense.
All right, let's move on to another sport. Spring training's going. How about some baseball? Who's pitching for your all-star team?
Oh, jeez.
Because pitching, you'd like a lot of power, but
Honestly,
you got to throw it in the strike zone.
Yeah, knock to knock baseball, but there's not a lot of, the skill set's pretty universal in baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So
would
there's
say
not a
there's
lot of, different.
3 real positions.
Yeah.
Something like that,
Well,
4.
yeah, there's 3 or 4 major skill sets, and then you can refine it depending on the position from there.
But
let's see, for a pitcher.
I think I'm going to go first with this one.
Yeah,
I'm
go
going to
ahead.
take Iron Man at pitcher.
That's really good.
Targeting computers, he could easily fix up something to just launch the ball in crazy patterns.
I'm going to go with Jean Grey.
All right, that's...
Jean Grey.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Jean Grey.
Why I do the French Jean. It's a bad habit
Jean.
I obtained early on reading and not listening. So Jean Grey.
Why Jean Grey?
Because first off, she can do a lot of things to that batter. She can, and a lot of things with the catcher. She can communicate to the catcher exactly what the ball is going to be, so that you don't have to worry with signals.
All right.
Because she's telepathic. Her telepathy is also at the point where she can provide an illusion to the batter. Right?
All right.
And on top of that, she's telekinetic. So she
doesn't
can
even
throw,
need to touch the ball.
She can throw that ball. She doesn't even need to touch it, but she can throw it. And as the guy's about to, even if he hits it, she can make sure it doesn't move. Or like crack the bat. Boom!
Just smash the bat.
Smack! It just stays right there. It goes into
Ah.
the catcher's glove. Boom!
God, yours is so much better than mine.
Right? Yeah. I mean, she's. I can't think of a better one at this point. Yay! Yeah, that's.
Dang it!
Haha.
All right. Who you have as your power hitter in your lineup?
Power hitter. Now, strength has to be it, but you have to have accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So super accurate, super strong, cyborg.
Cyborg.
That's a DC.
It's an excellent one. Plus, he's got the athletic experience. He'd be.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, duh.
He should have been in our football one. Honestly. I mean,
He'd be another really good quarterback.
Yeah, I think he was high school
I think
star
he was, too.
quarterback.
I think it was too.
And now he's got cybernetic enhancement, so he would be even better. But
Yeah.
what's done is done, so he's your power hitter.
Flash Gordon was his football quarterback too. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not an uncommon origin story.
Let's see, power hitter. I'm gonna take Thor. Get Mjolnir up there, just
yeah, that's a really
years
good
of
one.
experience, just hitting like heads off of enemies and stuff. Just
yeah, that's a really
cranking
good
that out of the
hitter.
universe.
Very well done. Yeah. Let's see. Let's think of some other sports or something.
We can go back to the source video and go with some soccer.
Soccer. Yeah.
Soccer. Let's go with goalie to start off with.
Oh wow. Whew, so you need hands. You know what?
You got someone?
Yeah, because I haven't picked Mr. Fantastic yet. Yeah. And if you are going to complain about that, I'd just go with Marvel Girl. You know, or not Marvel, Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel,
Yeah,
yeah.
Miss Marvel, yeah. So we can, or the Blob, whatever.
The Blob. I'm going to go with Clayface.
That's a good one, too.
Just try to block the entire goal.
Oh, yeah.
With
that's very
him.
fun. That's very fun.
Not really a skilled position, but still gets the job done.
That's fun. I'm glad they made that video. It's not too often that you see sports and the geek culture stuff meld together.
Yeah, it was interesting to see because, I mean, we didn't name any, like, true geek culture things besides comic book heroes, but, I mean, they had Jedis in there, and they had
sure. Yeah, that's very
video
true.
game characters.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a couple of fun. I remember there
Mario
used
would
to
be good at
be
basketball.
a video game that had... Well, of course there is the video game called Blood Bowl, which is...
I don't think I played that one.
Been out for a little bit. It's based off of a miniatures game, and it's pretty cool. It's like... It's actually a lot like rugby,
Yeah.
I'd say, but with fantasy races, elves, orcs, that kind of stuff. It's within the Warhammer fantasy, and that's Games Workshop, Warhammer 40K.
Yeah.
It's whole miniatures wargaming world, and it used to be miniatures wargame.
I still get my D&D miniatures through them.
Through Games Workshop sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have some incredibly fantastic models. I honestly enjoy, at this point, enjoy painting the miniatures more than I enjoy playing most of the games. Because most of the games take a long fucking time to play out. Way too long.
Yeah.
And, you know, I find painting to be a real relaxing thing. I digress, however. But there used to be on Super NES, there was some sports game that also involved, geez, I want to say it was like robots and cyborgs and stuff. It was very cool. Very cool. I wonder what the future for geeks and sports will be. Because there's those movies, Hugh Jackman was in one, wasn't he? With like robots fighting each other? Rock and Sock and Robot movie?
Real Steel is what it was called.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, like you said, it was essentially Rock'em Sock'em Robots. They had these radio-controlled robots that they would fight in boxing matches.
And robot gladiatorial competitions
exist.
Has happened for a while. It's been around for a while now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that...
I remember as a kid watching like Robot Wars and stuff. And
sure. You think that'll ever be an Olympic sport?
I don't know. It's not entirely popular, but
right.
I mean, when we
keep in mind, I think shuffleboard's an Olympic sport. But no, just I don't know. I could be wrong. Who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, with the whole nerd culture thing, I can very easily see once we have very fluidly controlled robots that can be produced for much cheaper. I think is the main point of it. You will see fighting robots.
Oh yeah, that'd be really cool if you can somehow kind of put like an Oculus Rift type of system or whatever on an MMA fighter, and it's actually controlling a robot, and it could change the complete differences in weight class, because you could have a fighter who physically weighs 250 pounds controlling this robot, and the robot that his opponent is fighting is, say, 150 pounds.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter because the robots are going to be the same size.
Yeah, so it comes down completely to skill at that point. That'd be pretty interesting.
That would be. Plus, you
Yeah.
could have like special powers like flame blast and stuff.
Oh yeah, if you
which
wanted
just
to
add
do
an
that.
extra element to
Yeah,
it.
you could all do all sorts of really cool stuff with that. Oh yeah, that's badass. I know that video game competitions are getting huge in parts of Asia. I think in Korea,
Even here.
it's a really big thing. Yeah, even here. Yeah,
Even
there's
here.
people who make a really good living, 6-figure living a year
Playing video games.
playing video games professionally.
League of Legends is the main one that I've seen. It's millions and millions of people watch the like final competitions for both North America and Europe
Yeah.
and Asia. Like, it's insane the scale that it's gotten to in a relatively short time.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see that type of competition become like an official Olympic sport.
What, like video game?
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a video game Olympics, essentially. Or a virtual
You becoming
Olympics.
its own thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
why
can see it.
wouldn't it?
It'd be fairly easy to do. You just need someone to organize it. I mean, all these players already exist. They're pretty much all professional.
Well, if you got that idea and you do that, and you got that idea from us, we're asking for a very small cut. Just a small, minuscule cut. But yeah, because that would be redonkulous. Worldwide video game competitions.
I'd watch it.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I'd watch that over a lot of Olympic sports. Because I could give a fuck who can do the butterfly stroke the fastest in the world. Sorry. just
Synchronized
don't care.
trampoline's always going to be my favorite.
Is that a sport,
That's
really?
a sport.
That's badass. Whoa, wow. I missed that one. Huh.
Yeah. Summer or winter, I don't know. What's the season for trampolini?
Right? Yeah.
Seems like an all-weather kind of thing, but yeah.
And you just see that. I mean, just watching video gamers on YouTube and other like live streaming services has become a really big deal, and just the popularity behind that, especially when you see some of these people who are pros, who are fantastic, and you play that same game and you're like, holy shit, that guy is good.
Yeah.
Like, I could watch this on slow-mo, and maybe I would make the same decisions and get the same accuracy or whatever that this person's doing. But damn, that's badass.
They are pros for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see, just based off the sheer popularity behind that come into existence.
A true video game Olympics type event.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? Getting the gold medal in first-person shooting or something like that? Yeah. You're the world champ for, whatever, platform fighting games,
Yeah, I'm excited for a lot of things the future's going to hold. I think video games are going to come into the public conscious a lot more in the coming years. And
What do you think the nerdiest sport out there is currently?
the nerdiest sport that's out there.
The nerdiest sport. It really depends on what you define as a sport.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Maybe something like archery? Like, I mean, not to diss archery. I mean, I got a compound bow above our head off screen that you can't see.
Nerd's a compliment on this podcast.
Yeah. But it's an outdated medium. It's like no one uses bows anymore in real life. It's
Okay. That was kind of close to the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of maybe fencing.
fencing. Yeah, I can see that.
It's pretty specific, nerdy, almost hipstery maybe at this point. I don't know. I don't know if hipsters fence, but it wouldn't surprise me if they do.
That's how they just settle arguments. They don't do in competitions. They're just like, hey, I disagree with your choice of beer, therefore I must fence you.
Why isn't dueling still legal? It's because we got too lethal of weapons. That's why.
Yeah.
If we just stuck it at like little tiny, needle swords, then that'd be great. Some asshole Small claims court would become
I would just sitting there all day like,
Yeah. Judge Judy would be way more entertaining if they had rapiers.
Oh, God. But anyways, the next thing we had to talk about was some beer news, since that is part of what we do here. Ommegang Brewery is coming out with a Game of Thrones themed beer called
The Three-Eyed Raven.
Yeah, Three-Eyed Raven
is what they're calling it. Yeah, which is Game of Thrones reference.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, if you've read the books or watched the show, it's this, or I should say, if you haven't watched the show or read the books, I almost got those backwards.
Yeah,
if you haven't watched the books. Anyways, if you're not familiar, then the Three-Eyed Raven is this pretty eclectic character, or minor character, that appears in the dreams of essentially one of the main characters' dreams. This boy who's crippled at a young age, named Bran, who's a noble boy.
Stark family.
And from that, I'm not going to explain anymore, because if we start talking about the nuances of Game of Thrones and the relationships, then we'd be here for 15 hours. Yeah. So just watch the show, read the books. Read the books. You'll be doing yourself a massive service. I use that phrase too often, I think. Anyways, I think it's really cool that we're seeing that geek culture become part of the food and drink culture, the craft beer culture, especially because it's a very big part of the novels. Food.
Yes.
It's huge. George R.R. Martin
loves his food.
Yeah. He will go on about the tastes and the banquets and stuff right before main characters are viciously murdered in a single sentence. You'll have a paragraph about what they were eating. I don't know what the fuck. What happened there?
He's a strange man.
Yeah. But they're so good. It's such a great story. I think it's really cool that we're seeing this collaborate. Apparently, it's gonna. I think let's not even get it wrong here. I won't speculate. I think it's a dark saison. Yeah, it is. It's a dark saison ale, is what they're doing here, and the bottle art on it looks really cool. Here, I'll scroll down for you, Steven, so you can see.
Wow, that is cool. It's a very dark toned theme, which fits with Game of Thrones. It said it'd be released April 2015, so it's coming up here pretty quick.
That's I think pretty much right in line with the new season coming out.
Because you're starting to see like little teasers and stuff of what the characters are going to look like.
New costume designs, all that,
Which is another part of the show that just blows my mind. The costumes they come up with are just so far beyond anything that I would think of for that kind of genre. The fantasy, medieval type genre.
Yeah, it's redefining. It really is. Yeah, they're doing such a good job. Especially on how they're combining the realism of the human condition in such conditions.
Yes.
A lot of high fantasy stories have really almost naive, happy-go-lucky, safe, only dangerous things are out in the woods kind of a deal.
They're very plot-focused instead of character-focused.
Yeah, and this Game of Thrones approaches it in a very realistic fashion. The motivations, or you can identify with modern motivations and on all the characters, and it's not like people become morally better or worse depending on the level of technology that they have around them, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
And I think that's why these books have become so popular, and especially why people have connected with certain characters so much, because they share these same motivations as a certain character. Then, because it's George R.R. Martin, he kills everyone, and they just feel devastated by it because they feel like this person that shared their same views and like, hey, if I was in that same situation, I might act like this person. That person has been torn away from them. And that's why there is such this emotional investment in this series of books and shows.
Yeah. Well, it's it's definitely one of those where the good guys don't always win, and that's just life.
Yeah.
It's the way life is. And Game of Thrones is heavily influenced by history.
Mm-hmm.
So the realism is really accurate because that's just the way shit works
Yeah.
in life. And often it's the victors who write the history books. So of course they're cast in a better light. And that even, comes into play in some of the Game of Thrones culture too. I could go on for a long time about what I like about Game of Thrones. And really there's not. Geez, I really can't think of a thing that I honestly dislike about Game of Thrones. I was a little critical of the fourth book, but I can't remember why, so it couldn't have been that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something you just remind me of that's not all that important, but it's a little fun point. There is a documentary on Netflix, and I thought of it because you said history is written by the victors.
Right.
And it's a documentary talking about the Soviet hockey team that lost the 1980 Olympics.
Oh my God, that was such a big deal.
Yeah.
That was such a big deal. There's been a couple of documentaries made about that.
About the American side especially. I mean, there's been...
Yeah, I've only watched the American ones.
Yeah, that's what I was looking through it last night. I was like, it's about the 1980 hockey team. It's going to be another miracle type movie. It's going to be a documentary about it, yada yada. And it's like, shows the Soviet side. I'm like, oh...
What? You have to tell me their take. What?
I haven't seen it yet. You need to watch it. It's on Netflix right now.
Oh, I have to watch that. I love experiencing the other side's story in history.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. I've been getting really... No, I shouldn't say I've been getting it really into Japanese history because I've always kind of been a fan of Japanese... culture and history ever since I learned what a samurai and what ninja were. I was like, what the fuck? How did Voltron, samurai, and ninja all come from the same country? That's a cool fucking country, apparently.
Need to learn more about these guys.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
These people are interesting. But yeah, you look... I recently watched a documentary about the Hiroshima bombing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, first off, you got to pay more attention in school. Okay?
Yeah, I would say it's a very small audience. It might be you're too young.
Yeah, that's okay if you're too young. If you've never heard about it before, in World War II, the Americans dropped 2 nuclear bombs or atomic bombs on Japan. One at Nagasaki and one at Hiroshima. And this documentary was talking about the one at Hiroshima. And I've been to, now, to go back in history, the thing that spurred the Americans to get involved in World War II was the Japanese bombing Pearl Harbor. And I've been to the Pearl Harbor Museum in Hawaii. Yeah. And that's a very sobering and powerful place to be. There's the big movie theater and film and everything in there, and you actually see the devastation that happened that day. I mean, it's potent. Mm-hmm. But what's interesting is Hawaii is a major tourist destination by the Japanese. In fact, I think more actual land mass is owned by Japanese than Americans in Hawaii, or was at one point.
Interesting.
I believe that was true in the 90s. I don't know if it's true now. At any rate, when I was there, it was very clear that as a white guy, I was in the minority on that island. It was mostly the Polynesians, the native islanders, and Japanese. So, of course, at this memorial, there were a lot of Japanese. And I was kind of like, wow, I wonder what they're thinking at this. And I can only imagine, it was probably similar to what I was thinking when I was watching this Japanese documentary about the bombing at Hiroshima. Because I felt like, I was like, damn. Oh, God. I know that would happen way before I was born. I have nothing to do with that decision or that process or any of that sort of stuff, but I still felt guilt just being an American, just for the fact that I happen to be born in this country because of that documentary. I was like, damn, man, that's a really powerful side to that story. So there you go. I guess that's just goes to show it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's always two sides to every story. But wow. Yeah. And it's worthwhile to explore that other side.
Because it will show something about your side of the story as well.
Yeah. Be patient enough because it will reveal a lot about you. Yeah. And you look about America's history with Japan in general, and yeah, I can see why the Japanese considered America a big enough threat to do a preemptive strike on Pearl Harbor. It's not, you know.
Yeah. Anyways, on that sobering note.
Sorry, I took a huge tangent on that one, guys.
Yeah, it's coming to that time where we raise a glass to something in the episode that we talked about, that we truly care about and feel like deserves more recognition.
Okay, I will tell you something that I totally think deserves more recognition.
What's that?
And that's proper planning of defense and defensive coordinators in the NFL.
All right.
I'm from Chicago, so the Bears. I'm a defensive heavy fan.
All right. I'm just as a note. I'm from Seattle Legion of Boom, so it's we got this defense. Yes. Always helps when you have Superman on your defense, by the way.
It won't win you a Super Bowl, but it might get you there.
Yeah. It'll get you a Super Bowl if you hand it off to Lynch on the 1 yard line.
Ooh.
All right. Anyways, something I wanted to raise a glass to. I'm going to raise a glass to nerd culture getting into more aspects of life. We talked about the brewery coming out with Game of Thrones beer. There is a brewery, or not a brewery, a bar that's going to open up in Fort Collins. That's called Dungeons and Drafts.
Yes.
It's on Kickstarter right now. You should go help them out. And it's going to be a geek culture themed bar.
It's a time thing. I think they only maybe have a week left on their Kickstarter drive. So if you're interested in it, definitely check it out now. Click on whatever link we have provided. And yeah, because it might be too late. And there are some really cool things on the Kickstarter. Like if you donate enough, you can have some really cool stuff dedicated to your name, yourself, or maybe like a character you might have had in a role-playing game. That's what I would do. Yeah. I'm talking about everything from the decorations on the wall to stools to I think even urinals.
Yeah, they have the entire place almost up for sale in a sense that you can put your name on it and say, I contributed to this amazing thing. But anyways, raising a glass to geek culture becoming just culture in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Anyways, we are all over the web. We are on Facebook at Geek News and Craft Brews, all spelled out. We are on Twitter. We are on Tumblr as well. And, of course, we are on YouTube.
Right.
The schedule we release things on YouTube is the podcast will come out in its full form on Friday. We'll have a bonus video for you on Saturday, which I'll touch on in a second. Then we'll have highlights going on throughout the week until we come to Friday again, where the next podcast will come out. We are also on iTunes in podcast form. It just goes on and on. Yeah,
you can't get rid of us. And I really want to thank everyone who's watching and or listening. Appreciate it. Or commenting on the Facebook stuff. And continue to throw those comments our way, and we'll be happy to discuss any hypothetical or our past real world situation you'd like us to talk about.
And we do really appreciate you sharing this to your friends. That's the main way that we get our podcasts and our videos out there. And even anything we post on the Facebook page, like we're going to have posts up there talking about how you can buy your own Hulkbuster armor.
Yeah,
like Iron Man.
Yeah, it's only like about 20 grand,
20.
give or take.
But share whatever you find interesting to your friends. That's how we get ourselves out there. It's how we get people involved in our channel. Mm-hmm. So share the love. Like I said, we're going to do a bonus video coming after that.
Yeah.
Marvel is coming out with a group #1 comic in the coming months. Yeah. So I thought we'd do a reading of Rocket Raccoon #5, written by Scotty Young, who's famous for the baby variants from Marvel.
Yeah, kind of
Yes, but
kid variants.
The kid, variants. Yes. This one is special because it is a story told through the perspective of Groot. So it might give us an insight into what the new comic book series will be like.
Uh-huh.
So catch our video that's going to come out on Saturday for that. And yeah, that's really all I have for this week.
Again, I just want to say we really appreciate this.
We really do, yes.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
So there will always be more news for us to report, so we will always be back next week. Until then, cheers.
Cheers, y'all.